We are at Riverfront Park in downtown Spokane, Washington. It's really nice. It's in the middle of the city. Overheard someone say something like Seattle. A lot of people walking. There's a lot of businesses all the way around. There's Chase Bank. You got a church. It looks like a circus, carnival. I don't know if it's active or not. But there's an IMAX theater. There was hotels all around this area. And there's the Spokane Arena. As I was saying before, oh, nice apartments right there. Those are nice. Now this would be my kind of thing right there. And then I can walk to every place. And there's no cars in this park, so people are jogging and walking to and fro their jobs at lunch hour. This town, especially Spokane Valley, which is just like 10, 15, 20 minutes away, it reminds me of Lorain because of all the blue-collar jobs. You also have technology-type jobs as well. So I don't know. I haven't looked up the statistics, but I bet there's jobs here. There's a lot of businesses. So if you're looking around the country, do check out Spokane and Spokane Valley. It's very nice. Look at all the birds. I don't know if you can see them. Lots of them. So I better catch up with the family. I think they're crossing that bridge already. And I have a long way to go. I have no idea what the winters are like, but I think this is a very cool place and the type of place if I were to settle down. It would have to be something where I can live in a place like that that's next to a park or just city streets that I can walk on so I don't have to drive. Prefer not overly crowded. I'm just giving you my dreams, what I would like. We're going to cross that bridge there in a minute. But you see that place? Isn't that nice? Overlooking this. And there's plenty of culture, restaurants, stores that I would be fine. And then you have nature all around you as well. Again, I just don't know what the winter is like. So I couldn't say if this would be the place for me all year long. I do miss the ocean though. I really like the ocean. Rick nearly got attacked by the fence, leaning over. We're only going to stay one night in Spokane, but we saw these waterfalls and rivers and things to see. So we're here for 2 nights before we head off to, I'll tell you, Butte, Montana. And the reason Butte, Montana is because it's 4 or 5 hours. We're trying not to travel further than that. And that's really the next big town, bigger town, if you want to call it that has a hotel that we could stay. We'll get another Airbnb down the road. I think traveling is one of the best educations if you have small kids that you can give them. It just shows you the different types of people. Even here in the United States, I've met definitely different types of people in different areas. Washington Water Power Company, Upper Falls Power Plant. I must say, it's very clean and neat and organized here. I like it. Now the restaurant out there over the water, they're making use of the beauty they have so everyone can enjoy. Awesome. want to talk about today is homeschooling and the different types of homeschooling, because the reason I haven't really talked about homeschooling is because I started recording only 2 years or less, and Willow had graduated from homeschooling at 15, and Noah's only got 1 more year left, so I didn't really want to start up the topic, but I feel so strongly about it. I think I'm going to talk about that today. For those of you who have kids or raising grandkids, it's something you really should think about. It's not complicated unless you're in a state that's totally against homeschooling. This looks like, do you think this is open some time of the year? Does anybody know? If you know, comment below. I don't know. Concession stand closed. Boy, could I have used a icy snow cone. So way before I ever thought I even wanted kids, even as a kid, I was thinking I didn't want my kid, our kids, to be stuck in a classroom all day. I remember just sitting in class thinking, looking out the window, that there was so much more out there, that everything that was in the books I had already read. I didn't even know back then that homeschooling was even legal. So as I got older, and then I met Rick, and we talked about it before we got married. That's the trick, folks. Before you get married, you talk about things. And I said, you know, we really want to homeschool the kids as long as they want to, if we have kids, when we have kids. And he was all okay for it, so Rick was a go. So we got married. We waited 5 years before we had kids. And then we had Willow. And then people ask me, when did you start homeschooling your kids? Well, legally I did it at the age that you're allowed to start homeschooling or schooling your kids in general. But when people ask me, you know, are your kids on vacation or when did you start? Our kids always learn from day one. From the time they came into this world, they started learning just by looking, seeing, looking at what Rick and I were doing, the family, where we were traveling. They were just learning. And of course, I always had books. I love to read. I would read to Willow. And then came the time to homeschool. Back then I was new to the internet. They didn't have as much information as they do now. So I was kind of like nervous about just homeschooling on my own. So what I did to break myself in slowly and so I wouldn't be overwhelmed was I joined Connections Academy. It's like K12.com. It's an online public school, and that was really wonderful. So we signed up for first grade with Willow. We skipped kindergarten because we were pretty much doing everything at home ourselves. And what we loved about it was they gave us a free computer, not to keep it for the school year, a free printer, and they let us keep that. They paid for our internet, they gave us free books. Of course, we had to return it at the end of the school year. Everything was free because it's a public school, and it still is. So if you go to K12.com, and they even gave some people, like K12 was giving free YMCA passes for the kid for the year. So I don't know how it is now that, you know, Willow's 17, almost 18 years old, so that was many years ago. And we found out that we can go at our own pace. So Willow just went along and she had first and second grade done, which is nice. You could do that. You could skip and continue because so much time is wasted in public schools. Now I know some of you have great public schools and you love it, and I think that's awesome. If it's good for you, worked out, and you have a good public school or private school. But homeschooling wasn't just about the education. We wanted to be able to spend more time as a family together and be flexible, to be able to go to museums during the week when it's not super crowded so you could actually see the paintings, or go on vacation when it's not crowded. So we wanted the flexibility, just like working from home has the flexibility. We really cherish that freedom of flexibility. It's really important to us. So she did the first and second grade, and then I felt comfortable, like, okay, we could do this, but we feel like she needed so much more than even what the school was teaching. It was like we needed more. So we decided to homeschool completely on our own, and that was with the help with online sources, help, and turns out we had a homeschool advocate in our town who was able to check out what we did for the school year. We had to keep track, like a log of what you did for the year. Once a year she would check it, fill out paperwork, send it to the county, to to the city. I'm not sure if the city or county or both. But so every year we did that while we lived in Ohio. And Ohio's a homeschool friendly state, and so is Florida. So we continued homeschooling, and when Nova turned school age, we went straight into homeschooling on our own. But there's so many ways to do it. Yes, you can get a curriculum if you want to follow, sit at the school table and follow it. Some people do unschooling. Just look up these terms: homeschooling, unschooling. Check out world schooling. That's world schooling is basically where you're traveling and you're learning. A lot of people do put kids in a school if they are in a different country and they want them to become bilingual or trilingual, or if they want their kid to become a polyglot, speaking many different languages. So when they go to different countries, they might enter the public school system so they can learn the language. Others might just sign up for that particular language or get a tutor so their kids can learn. But just being in an environment, immersing yourself in any environment, really teaches somebody about the culture, the language. Even if you stay in the United States, just traveling around this country, there's so many different ways of living, different dialects, different foods, different ways people behave. It's very interesting. I think it's a great way to educate your child or yourself. And I don't think schooling should ever end at 18. So if you're younger and you hate school, it's not that you hate learning, it's probably the system or something. Or if you're being bullied or something's going on in school, or you're a night owl and you're sleepy during the day. It's the thing I like about homeschooling. You could sleep in if you need some sleep, and if you are on a project and you're writing a novel, you could be up all night doing that and not worry about being so strict as far as hours. Now, working from home or homeschooling from home, you do have to be your own boss and be strict with yourself if you want to get anything done. If you're just laying around in bed all day, that's not gonna move you forward in life at all or educate yourself. But I do think we learn from everything we do, and the more experiences we have, the more we learn. But I think it's very important to meet other people and see other types of people that are not just like yourself, so you can be more open-minded to the world in itself. If we ever come back, I think we'll get a hotel right down here in this area, because there's so much to do and see. Plenty of places to eat. That's what I'm always looking for. Some place good to eat. Doubletree by Hilton. I'm a Hilton's member, but I haven't used it in a while, and a Marriott member, and of course La Quinta. Quality Choice hotels, but I'm not going to use them anymore. I just had one disappointment after another, like Quality Inn, Comfort Inn, those types. The breakfast, every single place, always running out, or the tables are dirty. That's the one downside. Yes, it's free breakfast, so I'm not going to complain about it. But I think I might. They should at least not start taking the food away while I'm eating. Oh, look, sundial. Let's see the sundial. Oh, it's decorated. That's pretty. It's got a kangaroo. I don't know if you could even see that. Probably not. Koala. Anyways, it's a sundial. And let's see how accurate it is. That's 1 o'clock, and it's I don't have a clock. What time is it? What's your watch say? Noah's checking his.
1:19.
1:19. I'd say it's pretty accurate. What do you think?
Pretty accurate.
That's pretty accurate. How's Cookie doing? Are you hot? All right, let's get back to the car. Stop before I get to the car, and I just want to finish up a little bit about homeschooling. You're going to want to do your research if you've never homeschooled, even if your kids are in the last year of high school, but they're not doing well. You can homeschool them. It's not too late. Find an online group, and they will guide you in your state, because every state has different laws, so it's important that you do that. Don't make your kids suffer if they're being bullied, or you can't get problems resolved in school, or if they're not getting what they can out of school. From my own experience, we would do it again. No regrets at all. I loved having our kids with us. They joined the art center, the YMCA. They were involved with all types of things, so they got to be with other kids. I think socialization is overrated when it comes to being socialized in school, because hanging out with everybody the same age is not being socialized. So if you are sending your kids to public school, I think it's very important to socialize your kids in other events with other ages, because when you graduate from school, from high school, and move on to the real world, you're not going to be hanging out with everybody the same age. You're going to be working with people from all ages. So it's important that one learns communication at an early age. I think communication is more important than anything else. And of course, keeping your mind open to different things in this world. And just go online, find yourself a homeschooling group, and then learn about all the different types of homeschooling ways. The online public school, if you want to start out that way till you're comfortable, to regular homeschooling where you have a curriculum, you put out the books, you sit there. I'm not a fan of it, but people like it and they do well. Unschooling, and unschooling doesn't mean not educating your kid. By the way, check out khansacademy.org. Khan Academy, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, Khan. Check it out because it's free and you can learn math, algebra, trigonometry, physics, coding, you name it, all the way up through college. It's for young people and adults. It's a great thing, and it's something we've used in addition to many different things that we've used, books from the library, online internet, documentaries, traveling. Khan's Academy kind of covers the algebra that I might have forgotten, or it's just easier than trying to figure out algebra through a book because it gives you little samples to practice, and if you get it wrong they give you a hint, and it's nice. It kind of takes you step by step. They even have SAT practice tests, I think. I don't remember now, but check it out. It's a really great source. There's a few people out there on YouTube. If you type in homeschool or world schooling, you could find families who world school, unschool, homeschool. There's a whole community out there that can help you. So thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you like. Please share and